afternoon, girls and boys and educators. I am so excited to welcome you to the TCEA headquarters in Austin, Texas. Today, we have a very special guest, Santa Claus. I'm Peggy, and I'm one of TCEA's Directors of Professional Development. Have you heard of TCEA? Well, we are a nonprofit organization. We support the use of technology in the classroom, and we have been working with St. Nick for many years. He's here to learn some tech tips on how to deliver toys quicker. And while he's here, he's agreed to speak with you, read one of his favorite stories, and answer some of your questions. So lean in and listen carefully, because Santa may even call some of you by name. Welcome to TCEA, Santa.
Thank you.
We are so thrilled to have you with us today. Take it away.
Ho, ho, ho. I'm so excited to be here so that I can be with all of you. And let me tell you a little bit what's going on at the North Pole. At the North Pole, it is cold. I mean, it is so cold. But you get used to it and you learn to do things in the cold. I've learned to ski, I've learned to parasail, I've learned to do all kinds of stuff in the cold. And it's so much fun, but it is so much fun coming to Texas here. It is just a great state. First, I'd like to, before I get started with everything, I'd like to read you a book. This is my favorite book. This is Stowaway in a Sleigh. It's about a little cat named Slipper. It was the darkest hour of the night when Slipper heard strange footsteps in the house. This is Slipper. Step by step, on softly padded paws, she crept closer and closer, and then she discovered Mr. Furry Boots. Slipper was smitten. They shared a quiet moment together before Slipper did exactly what any curious cat would do. What do you think that was? She got in the toy bag. Mr. Furry Boots had finished his rounds, so he headed on home without knowing he had a little passenger. When they arrived, Mrs. Furry Boots saw the wiggling lump. As she let the cat out of the bag, Slipper was all tuckered out at that point. The next morning, she visited the room where all the gifts are lovingly wrapped. All the gifts. She found out they make toys for cats and made new friends. But back at the house, Slipper had longing to be home. Pretty lonely. So she went out into the cold to find home. When Mr. Furry Boots finally found her, he understood what she was thinking. So that night, Slipper took her second ride in his sleigh, but this time she flew first class. Santa made a very special delivery, and Slipper was home. That's a great story. It's one of my favorite books. I hope you'll enjoy it as much as I do. And I'm so excited to be here with all of you. Now, what I'd like to do is read a couple of questions that you're sending me. Okay, this first question is from Summer Y and Addie F from Dodd Elementary in Wiley ISD. How many elves do you have? That's hard to say. There are so many elves. Some of them are all over the country. I have a lot of them at the North Pole with me. We have specialized elves. We have elves that come up with new ideas all the time, and we're constantly trying to come up with something new for you. Here's one from Mrs. Olquin's PK3 students from St. Anthony School in Robstown, Texas. What do elves eat? Elves are just like us. They eat everything. Although I'm afraid they like sugar the best. When I get cookies and lots of sugary treats, they love eating all that. It's incredible how much they like it. Here's one from third grade class at Rung Elementary School in Rung ISD. Do you make all the toys or buy some from the stores? I make all the toys. Then the stores find out some of the good ones that I made, and then they turn around and sell them to other kids. But the first one's always the ones I made. Here's one from Justice R from Cliff Elementary School in Waxahachie ISD. What state do you deliver to first? Every year it's a little different. Sometimes I feel like going right. Sometimes I feel like going left. Sometimes I just have a idea that I'd like to stay in the better weather first, or sometimes I'll go in the bad weather first and end up with good weather. So it's always different. What is your favorite cartoon? Well, ever since it came out, I've always kind of liked Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck, those guys were always funny to me, and they're always been my favorites when I have time to watch cartoons. Are you very cold at the North Pole? This is from Maddox T in Mrs. Garza's class in Ravine of Austin Middle School. It's so cold at the North Pole. Sometimes my beard freezes completely. I have to go inside just to thaw it out. But sometimes cold is very, very nice also, because you learn to do lots of cold sports. I like cold, but I like the heat too. Here's one from Charlie M from George W. Bush Elementary in Wiley ISD. What is your favorite Christmas song? Well, that's obvious. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. But I have a big affliction for Jingle Bells also. Here's one from Mrs. Tinker's class from Dickinson Elementary School in Lamar CISD. Do you have a favorite teacher when you were a boy? Yes, I had some favorite teachers. I had some favorite teachers that taught me things, and I listened and I listened. And when you listen well, all the teachers are your favorite teachers because they help you learn. And Mrs. Claus was a teacher also. Here's one from Olivia Sombrano. How long does it take to train a reindeer? Well, all reindeer are not the same. Some of them learn quickly, some of them learn slowly. But overall, they all learn pretty fast. They can learn how to do exactly what I need them to do in a very short period of time. Here's one from Aurora G. from St. Gertrude, the great Catholic school in Kingsville. Which of your reindeer are girls? Now, this one's going to really get you. They're all girls. All the reindeer are girls. And I bet you didn't know that. I bet you thought part of them were boys, but they're not. They're all girls. What is your, oh, here. Rachel W. from Delaware Elementary in Evansville, Indiana. Do you like to paint or draw pictures about Christmas? Well, I'm not too good at that. And I've got a couple of elves that are great at that. And what they do is they draw pictures for me and I hang them on my wall. I'm not too good at it, but they're teaching me how to do some real nice pictures. Mrs. Joe's class at White Oak Middle School. What is your favorite meal, fruit, ice cream, and drink? Well, I think my favorite meal is spaghetti. My favorite fruit is coconut and apples. Ice cream, what do you mean a favorite? All ice cream is great. And my favorite drink, I love milk. Candace Kumar from Overton Ray Elementary in Burnett ISD. Do you ever wish the children would leave you something besides milk and cookies? Well, you know, I love milk and cookies, but I also love brownies. Mrs. Dixon's kindergarten class. What kind of pizza do you like? I love pepperoni pizza. Of course, it's kind of like the ice cream. There's no such thing as a bad pizza. I like it all. William at DeQueen Elementary School, 3rd grade in DeQueen, Arkansas. Ooh, that's a long way away. How do you know if people are naughty or nice? Well, that's very interesting, and I can't tell you all the secrets, but I can tell you that the elf on the shelf tells me a lot. Sometimes I'll go to a city and just have a meal, or maybe I'll just walk the streets and people will tell me if you've been naughty or nice. Sometimes it's very clear that you haven't been nice to your parents. So you need to always be nice to your parents. Here's one from Mrs. Davis' class at Pine Forest Elementary School in Humble. Did you get your job? How did you get your job as Santa? Well, I love children. I love toys. So it's only natural to put it together. So I decided, well, I'll start delivering toys to all my little friends out there. Of course, my little friends have grown and grown and grown over the years, but I love every bit of it. So that's how I got started, putting the toys with the kids. Here's one from Justice B. at Peavy Primary School in Hudson ISD. Do you have an office that you work in? Well, my office, it's like the gymnasium, and I got a desk in there, but everybody's trying to come up with new ideas and tell me what's happening and all the good things that are going on. So yes, I have an office, but it's shared by elves, Mrs. Claus. It's shared by everybody. Even the reindeer come in once in a while. Harper K. and Siona from Haas Elementary, Frisco ISD, Mrs. Butterfield's kindergarten class. How do you make all the magic on Christmas morning? Well, when I got started and I wanted to get toys to all my little friends, it got to a point where I didn't have enough time to do all that. So I met a very, very important sorcerer, and he taught me how to do magic. So to get to millions of homes in one night, I have to use a little magic. Therefore, I'm moving so fast, that's why you can never see me. Here's one from Olivia M. from St. Gertrude, the great Catholic school in Kingsville, Texas. Are you friends with the Easter Bunny? Well, we know each other pretty well. I wouldn't call us best friends, but we do know each other, and he will send me candy, and I send him toys. So we love it when we get to talk to each other. Here's one from Mrs. Kraft's class at Coons Elementary School. How fast do you put the gifts under the tree at every house? Really fast. That's what I'm saying. I move so fast that you can't see me. And sometimes I have to get back up that chimney, and it gets a little harder and harder sometimes. So I move even faster at that. So even though you're going to try and see me, you won't get to. Mrs. Gonzalez, PK4 students from St. Anthony School in Robstown, Texas. What do reindeer eat? Reindeer love to eat vegetables. They love vegetables. And every now and then they like a little sugar. Of course, I have to keep the sugar away from them. I can't do all that I do with fat reindeer, but they love to have sugar too. But they love vegetables. They actually like the leafy vegetables and radishes and carrots the most. Eva and John R. from Good Elementary. Can you speak all the languages? Well, I speak enough to get by. You know, people want to talk to me sometimes, and I have to learn it a little more. But yes, I speak all the languages a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. Here's one from first grade class at Commonwealth Elementary School. How long does it take for you to plan your deliveries? Well, I have 364 days to plan it. So sometimes I plan it, sometimes I have to change it, but it works out pretty good. I have a lot of helpers to help me figure out how to do the deliveries. Here's one from Eve at Roxy B. No, I'm sorry, this is from just Roxy B. Do you bring pets when you deliver presents on Christmas Eve? I find that it's taking the pets away from home is not good, so I don't bring pets with me. Not that some of them don't want to come, but the reindeer and I have a really, really important job. So we do it all by ourselves, and we enjoy it. Here's one from Casalyn B. from Whitney Elementary School, Whitney ISD, and Mrs. Jones' class at White Oak Middle School. What do you do when you are not delivering presents? Well, like I said, it's so cold at the North Pole. I've learned to ski. Now I'm learning to parasail. I have a toboggan, and all these things keep my attention. I even had the other day that my toboggan is so big, one of the reindeer went down the hill with me. And that was a hoot because I think I fell out before he did. Here's one from Mrs. Estrada's music class at K. Franklin Elementary School in Northside ISD. What do you do when you are not delivering presents? Oh, I did that one. What is your favorite kind of music? Well, of course, I love Christmas music, but I also like some of the other stuff too. I try not to tell everybody that because we keep Christmas music going all the time at the North Pole. So sometimes I'll go off and listen to some new stuff on my own. Here's one from Diego M. and Legacy Elementary School at Friendship ISD. What is your favorite toy? Well, now that'd be hard to say because I love toys. I love them all. Sometimes I like the dinosaurs. Sometimes I like the remote control stuff. Sometimes I like a bicycle. Although let me tell you, it's kind of hard to ride a bicycle at the North Pole. I have to put skis on that bicycle in order to ride it. But I like all the toys. I have a different favorite probably every month. Here's one from Bodie M. Do reindeer like candy canes? Oh yes, they do. And if I leave them out, they'll eat them all. But I try not to feed them candy canes. Like I say, they like vegetables. And if I fed them candy canes all the time, they might not like vegetables anymore. So yes, I try to give them candy canes once in a while, so they do like them. Mrs. Bueno's kindergarten class at K. Franklin Elementary in Northside ISD. Is your house always decorated for Christmas? Yes. I'm Santa Claus. So of course it's always decorated for Christmas. Sometimes it gets a little much, but then they turn on the music and we start making the toys, and yes, everything's decorated and it feels like Christmas every day. Mrs. Felon's kindergarten class. What is your favorite kind of cookie? You know, I probably get asked that probably every hour from somewhere. And my favorite is chocolate chip. I'll bet it is a lot of y'all's too, isn't it? Kylie P. and PV from PV Primary in Hudson ISD and Gabriel of Austin Middle School. What games do your reindeer play? Well, the one they play the most that I don't really care for is keep away from Santa. If I throw them something, I want them to bring it back. They don't. And they just throw it amongst themselves and I can't catch it. So that's one of the games they play. And as we get closer to Christmas, they play hide and seek a lot. Mrs. Dixon's kindergarten class and Savannah and Trey. How do you relax when Christmas is over? That's an interesting question because I love what I do, so therefore it's pretty relaxing. So generally, I'll watch a little TV sometimes, or I'll go out and play with the reindeer when they're not trying to keep stuff away from me. But I find little things to do all the time. And, you know, the snow, when you ball up the snow, it's great to go out and surprise a reindeer when I hit him with a ball of snow. Mrs. Montgomery's class at Cedar Hill ISD. Who chose your Santa Claus outfit? Well, you can probably guess this one. Mrs. Santa chose it. And come to think of it, you know, I think she put all the bells on there so that she could find me on a regular basis. Mrs. Ledisky's second grade class at Frost Elementary. What do you want for Christmas? That's one of the easiest questions I answer. I want to see a smile on every one of your faces. When I bring stuff to you, I want you to smile. I want you to smile when you play with it. I want you to smile when you're working with your parents. I want you to smile all the time. Be happy. That's the greatest gift that you could give to me. Hannah M. from George W. Bush Elementary in Wiley ISD. Are you allergic to anything? Well, come to find out, since I've been in Texas, I seem to be a little allergic to cedar. As you can hear, my voice is cracking a little bit, so I'm having a little trouble with the cedar allergies. But it comes and it goes. It won't be very difficult. Here's one from Riley Powell. Do you help Mrs. Claus bake cookies? Sometimes, but I find that I eat too many when I am helping her make the cookies, so I try not to do it too often. Here's one from Gabriel M. from DeQueen Elementary School, 3rd grade. Do you drink white milk or chocolate milk? Well, ever since I was little, I've drank a lot of milk. I love milk. And I love chocolate milk even better. But chocolate milk makes me way too round. So I drink mainly the white milk. But I like that very well. And then I just treat myself sometimes with a little chocolate milk. I don't have to go overboard, although when I buy a container of it, I can drink the whole thing sometimes. Here's one from Mrs. Burke's 5th grade class at Scott Elementary School in Evansville, Indiana. Santa, if you need a new hat, what would you like it to look like? Well, I have another hat. Some of the time when I'm not up at the North Pole, I've got on a straw hat. I've got on a shirt with sharks all over it, a pair of shorts, and a pair of tennis shoes, and a big old straw hat. I love that hat. I love the beach. I love to garden. Of course, I think gardening last year was on a Tuesday in the North Pole because we don't get much warm weather. But sometimes I'm able to get a little garden going and enjoy it before it gets too cold. Or, if I miss it, then I might have to make me a little enclosure and have a garden. But that's my other hat, a straw hat. Mrs. Jones' class at White Oak Middle School. Do you have any siblings? Well, I'm friends with so many people and so many places that I consider everybody my siblings. We're all best friends. We try to all have a good time together. And when they call me, I'm happy. When I call them, they're happy. Mrs. Cortez's 1st grade class. What are your favorite colored socks? That's a good question. Actually, my favorite socks are my black socks that have Bugs Bunny on them. And I wear those all the time. Addie at Carpenter Hill Elementary in Buda. Can you give us an estimate of how many cookies you have eaten in your whole lifetime? Well, I believe that's an interesting question. Judging by this, I'd have to say many. But we won't go into that, right? You won't hold it against me if I start cutting down on the cookies. Mrs. Bryant's class at Dodd Elementary School in Wiley, Texas. When is your birthday? Well, my birthday is April 24th. That's when I celebrate my birthday. And at that point, I like to be at the beach. Doesn't always work, but that's a good idea. Here's one from Kaylee A. from PV Primary School in Hudson ISD. What is your favorite thing to do at the North Pole? Well, right now I'm learning to paraglide with a sleigh. So it takes me up and we fly all over and then we come down and land in the snow. Of course, sometimes it doesn't work that way, but that's the way it's supposed to work. The students at St. Rita School in Dallas, Texas, want to know my favorite color. Well, red, of course, but blue is my second color.
Wow, Santa, that was a lot of questions.
Well, I wanted to answer everybody's question.
Well, you did a great job. Thanks again for taking the time out of your busy schedule to stop by here at TCEA. We wish you safe travels back to the North Pole, and we send a big Texas hello to the elves and the reindeer.
Thank you.
Boys and girls, please wave goodbye to Santa.
I've enjoyed this, and I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have.
Teachers and families, we have recorded this chat with Santa, and we will have it up on our website at www.tceea.org in case you want to watch it again with your family. Merry Christmas to all of you from TCEA.
And look who I have here that wants to say goodbye. I'd like you to meet Mrs. Claus.
Merry Christmas.
She came with me on this trip, and we just wanted to say goodbye. Merry Christmas
Merry
and
Christmas.
good night to all. Bye-bye.
Bye.